everybody.
What's up?
My name is Marvin.
My name is Amanda.
And this is Read Between the Lyrics. What do we got today?
Today we are covering Jonathan McReynolds.
Okay.
And his song People. But before we start, I do just want to say Happy Black History Month. Today is February 1st.
Shout out to all my peoples. All right.
And so this song by Jonathan McReynolds, People, we thought it very fitting for today's day and age and the times that we're in. It's
definitely the song of 2020. Like it's like
2021
anthem and bleeding over into 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it's been probably the most divided. I don't know if it's ever, but if not ever, then in a really long time. And so this song, I feel like, explains a lot of what we all probably feel. Jonathan McReynolds definitely has a lot more popular songs, I would say. However, we wanted to focus on this one because it's so good.
Yeah.
Before we dive in, though, I just want to give a little background on the artist, Jonathan McReynolds.
Jonathan McReynolds is a songwriter's songwriter. But go ahead.
What does that mean?
That means, like, if you write songs, like Jonathan McReynolds is a guy that you look up to.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a songwriter's songwriter. It's kind of like a musician's musician. He actually, he's a musician's musician too. Well, go ahead.
Yes, he is a songwriter, singer. He's a singer. Singer. He be singing. And he's a musician. He plays piano, guitar. I think he plays drums, organ.
Yeah, he's nasty. He's a beast.
He is a beast.
Theory. He's a teacher.
Yes, he is. I'm going to get there. He is from Chicago, Illinois. His album Make Room debuted #1 on Billboard Gospel. It's been hailed as his best work, earning 8 Stellars and 2 Grammy nominations. His other album, Life Music Stage 2, went on to grab a Grammy nomination, multiple Stellar nominations, and a Dove Award win. He starred as a judge on BET's hit series Sunday's Best for 2 seasons. Some of you might have seen him on there. Great show. And just a couple of other accomplishments of his. He attained his Master's of Arts in Biblical Studies. He is an adjunct instructor at Columbia College. Like Marv said, he is a professor. He founded a non-for-profit organization. And this fact, I think, is fun. He was recently named a new member of Mensa, which is an international high IQ society. Isn't that?
Wow.
That's so interesting. So just a little bit of background on the artist.
Good for you, Jonathan McReynolds. Good for you.
Good for you, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
He also has been, I think it's stopped now, but he's been in a recent beef battle with Kev on stage.
I don't know if it stopped, but yeah, it's hilarious.
It's great.
If you don't follow either of them, you need to, because it's a fun little war they're in.
So let's get into this song.
All right, let's get into it.
Jump right into it. It's called People.
People, which he wrote. I'm not sure if he had other writers on this song. Like I mentioned in a previous episode, it's really hard to find like official song lyrics with credits on Google. I wish that the artists had like this stuff on their sites, but
there's got to be like a better way, you know? I know Spotify, they just rolled out a thing where if you're on the desktop, you can right click and even they said it's like a work in progress. It's not even accurate.
Right click and what happens?
Oh, you right click on the song and you can see all the producing credits and who wrote it and stuff like
Remember
that.
when they sold CDs and the cover had like all the lyrics and the writers and the producers? I want that back in maybe digital form.
I do want that back. Bring that back.
That's how we learned words to songs back in the day. Or we would just like listen, pause,
On
write them
loop,
down,
put it on loop.
put it on loop.
I never did that. So
I did that. I've definitely done that.
I know a lot of people who did that.
Okay, let's get into the song.
Get it?
You want to start or me?
They are the best and the worst you've created. Loving and hating and opinionated. Losers.
Loners. Loners.
All right. I heard this song before, so.
Loners are not losers, okay? Just.
Right. Loners in basements and those congregated, deliver me.
Yeah, so he's saying, deliver me, Lord.
Yes. Saying, all right, you want to start?
Okay. The best and the worst you've created. So obviously this is a song unto the Lord. He's talking to God here. He's a Christian artist, obviously. But the best and the worst, because people are great, but they could also be literally the worst in your life. And even good people in your life, sometimes they just have annoying qualities.
I've found that is the essence of life, like the best and the worst. So like having a kid is the best and the worst thing ever. You know what I mean? Like,
that's funny.
And it really just depends on your perspective and the season that you're in.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
Yeah. And then he goes on to describe that they're loving, but they can be hating, and they're opinionated, you know.
Loners in basements or those congregated.
Yeah. You know, the contrast is interesting because when you have loners, you have people that are just like to themselves.
Right.
Those people can be narrow-minded because they're not getting any outside perspective. They're not talking to people. But then you have those that are congregated and they're hearing this opinion and that opinion, and they're giving their own opinion. So they just have this whole
mass swarm,
the
hive mentality.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, like, they're both good and bad. See, they really both are good and bad, because the loners who aren't really talking have, you know, they're forming their own opinions, which is great.
Yeah, but they don't have no perspective.
But they don't have perspective. And then, you know, those that are congregating and are gaining perspective.
Well, you have an option to gain perspective, or you can just take somebody else's perspective
exactly
off the internet and copy and paste it and say, this is how I feel.
Exactly. So it's good and bad.
I think it's dope. I just burped.
Yeah, Marv, seriously.
I think it's dope that he used those congregated, because like congregation is church people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, you could be inside the church, or you could be outside the church. You know what I'm saying? And it's still, they're the worst and best people. Like, yeah.
Okay. The second verse goes, far from the peaceful shore, I was sinking. Deep in the ocean of thoughts they were thinking. Don't know what validation I was seeking. Deliver me from, and then he goes into the chorus, which we'll get into. So go ahead.
Okay.
What does that say to you?
Far from the peaceful shore, I was thinking. That's a common line.
Mm-hmm. So the shore is safety, but he's not in safety. He's out there, and he's sinking because he's deep into the thoughts of what people were thinking. And when you're so fixated on what people are thinking, you can drown because you're just so worried it consumes you.
Yeah, but also in that, the thoughts people were thinking, like, it really does feel like an ocean. Like, it does feel like you're surrounded by them, almost like one of those movies where like chatter's coming in and like the numbers and the words are up. But especially last year on Facebook, man, you just reading all these comments, these opinions, these thoughts, and man, like
they're triggers. They can
like,
be triggers.
Like I felt sick.
Yeah, like, you did say that. You said I have to take a break from social media. Like I'm just sick. People are just people. Then he says, don't know what validation I was seeking. This is good because we often seek validation from the wrong things, from the wrong people, from the wrong opinions.
I think that a lot of people's problems is a lot of 2020 was people wanted validation. Like they wanted validation from the government. They wanted validation from politics. They wanted validation from, like them recognizing you. You know what I'm saying? That's not doing nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that validation that you're saying, that validation is rooted. You know what I'm saying? And one person and one man. Jesus Christ.
That's where the validation should come from.
Yeah.
It's not from man. It's not from the government. It's not from
if you getting
your
it from
teachers,
else,
from your friends,
you're gonna be disappointed.
Right. And so if you seek validation elsewhere, you are going to be sinking.
Let's keep it pushing. Because
there's so much.
Like we just got to power through this one.
So he says, deliver me from, and then we get into the chorus, people. When you said you could heal me from anything, did you mean people? Deliver me, because I can't point them out. I won't say their names. I don't know the damage or which one to blame. It's just people. People, deliver me.
Yeah. So anybody who's hung out with me for any extended period of time, they know my mantra and what I think about people.
What is it? People are stupid.
People are stupid.
Marvin literally always says this.
I've came to this conclusion years ago, and people are stupid. And what I mean by that is, I actually do mean that they're stupid. But what I mean by that is, if you expect people to think how you're thinking, you know what I mean? You're going to be very disappointed. If you expect people to do the obvious right thing, like, oh, you should have done this, it's very obvious, you're going to be disappointed. So don't expect that much from people. Just be surprised. Be pleasantly surprised when people aren't stupid.
Okay, so I love how he says this. When you said you could heal me from anything, did you mean people? And I love this because when you think of healing, you think
physical.
You think of physical first, right? And then you go down the list. Mentally, emotionally. But that can stem from what people do to you. So he's not necessarily saying, deliver me from people, Lord. Like, I don't want to be around people. I don't want people in my life. He's saying, deliver me from the hurtful things that I've experienced from people.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I mean, that's where a lot of it comes from.
Yeah.
There's some things you're born with that you battle with, that's innate. But like, there's also that exterior, the outside forces, which are people.
Right.
People, there's bad people out there that will expose you to things before or even if you're ever supposed to be exposed to them things. Like you could get heavy deep into it, trauma, all kind of things like that. I don't even want to dive deeper into it.
Yeah, but the word does say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the rulers of darkness in this world. And so when we're, when it's the outside, when it's people, I mean, really, there's a greater force at work. There are two kingdoms, the kingdom of God and then the kingdom of darkness. And so when there are bad people, that's another thing, is that we can't just say, like, I just don't want to be around people, because that is a tactic of the enemy to isolate you away. Because when he isolates you away from people, he's isolating you away from the good voices in your life, the voices that God uses. Yeah. And so if we don't think that the enemy is at work through people, I mean, that's exactly how he's at work here. So.
Yeah. Like if you isolate yourself from the good and the bad.
Right.
You know, you can't just separate it and do one of them.
Right. And
my grandma used to say, you letting the devil use you all up. She used to say that to people when they were acting a fool or whatever. But, you know.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Hey, stop letting the devil use you all up. That's what
she's not wrong. That's why our ear gates are important, our eyes, because what we put in, what we allow in, has a major, major effect on our mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. And a lot of things. You know what? Let's just keep going. Let's keep going, because we can stay.
We can. This is a whole episode in itself. Okay. So he says, I can't point them out. I won't say their names. I don't know the damage or which one to blame. It's just people. And I think this is interesting because he says, I can't point them out. I won't say their names. So is he like covering them, or is he just, I feel like he's just like refusing. Like, you know how they say, like, we don't say this, we don't say that name here. Like I'm not even going to speak the name. Like, I'm not even going to give those people power. It's just people. Yeah. I mean, what do you interpret here?
I think,
because he says, I won't say their
names. So that he knows their names. For me, and I'm reading it, we're going to see if it makes sense. But automatically, just the two sentences back to back. I won't say their name. I don't know the damage. So, like, in my mind, does he feel like they're messed up? So, like, I'm not going to say your name, because I don't know what damage, you know what I'm saying, it would cause.
Okay.
Or what damage they have internally that's making them act like this.
Okay.
So that's what I thought when I seen those lines back to back.
Interesting.
All right. So now he switches gears on this next verse. She was the reason. The reason.
The reason.
She was the reason I smiled in the morning. He took the last bit of joy I was storing. That's too much power for any human.
For anything human.
For anything human. Deliver me from. All right. So, you want to tackle it?
I mean, so I don't know if this is something like personal, or he's just now just stating examples. You know, she's the reason I smiled in the morning. That sounds like love interest.
I think it could be both, because he does have some personal stuff if you do the deep read. And
he's spoken about some of his personal, some of his songs have been birthed from personal things.
But in this instance, though, he goes from she, then goes to he. You know, she was the reason I smiled, and he took the last bit of joy I was storing. So, those two lines are really dope, right? So if I say, hey, girl, you the reason I smile every morning, you know what I'm saying? Right? That's cute. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't be the only reason that I smile in the morning. I should have my own joy. I should have internal joy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, even if you're not there, I should still have a reason to smile in the morning. And then the next line, it says, he took the last bit of joy that I was storing. So now, when you get on my nerves, do you have the power to take my joy?
Mm-hmm.
Did I give you that power to make me happy or
Mm-hmm.
not?
Mm-hmm.
Am I depending on you for my happiness? So if I'm depending on you for my happiness, you got too much power.
Right. Well, I love how he says that's too much power for anything human, because we were just talking about how it's not people flesh per se.
Yeah, and it's not your validation
Mm-hmm.
is what we were talking about. If your validation comes from human,
Right.
from anything human,
Right.
you're going to have a problem. It doesn't matter if it's your spouse,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
your kid,
Right.
you're going to have a problem because humans will let you down.
Yeah. No matter what, no matter who they are.
No matter what, no matter who they are, they're going to
Right.
let you down.
Which is important, which is why God should be the center and the first thing in your life, in your marriage, in any relationship, in your workplace, because the only thing that will remain is him and his
The
love.
constant.
Yes, he is the constant. So if everything else fails, he is the anchor. He's the only thing that's going to,
Yes, sir.
hold you down. So, yeah, it's good.
All right. So it does the chorus again. People,
Yeah, he goes into the chorus again.
we'll skip that and go to the bridge.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll read it. The hurt are hurting, and the broken.
What
Why
is
am I
wrong
saying?
with you today?
I don't understand. The hurt are hurting, and the broken are breaking.
Yes.
And the ones who had their joy taken away are out here taken from other people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you wanna jump on this one? Because I could jump on it again.
Go ahead.
All right. The hurt people.
Hurt people.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's essentially the whole thing in a nutshell. I really love the line, the broken are breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a fire spin on hurt people.
Yeah. It's so much deeper. It's so much
The broken
heartfelt.
are like those hard breaking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I feel like you feel that a lot more in your chest.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to break your face. You know what I mean? Like, you feel that a lot. I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to break you.
Yeah, it's a lot more violent.
Yeah, the broken are breaking.
Yeah.
Fire. Songwriter. And the ones who had their joy taken away are out here taken away from other people.
Yeah,
so, like,
because misery loves what is it?
Yeah,
Misery loves company.
Yeah. People out here hurt, right?
Mm-hmm. And they just can't stand to see. That's a terrible place to be in when you're and listen, we've all been there, right? Like we're not saints here. Like you ever been like, in the morning, like when you're just tired and grumpy and you see someone like cheerful and you're just like, oh my God, shut up. Like, what are you doing?
Mandy's not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person. I really want to be a morning person because stop making faces. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person, but as odd as it sounds, the morning time is my favorite time of day. Like when we get up in the morning and Marv makes breakfast and I have my coffee with my baby. I don't know. It's literally my favorite time of day, but I hate getting up early. This is just a sidebar. But to my point, like you ever in the morning, like just you're not in the mood and then you see someone so cheerful and it's just like, oh my God, you need to turn it down. But why? Why do they have to turn it down? It's only because I'm miserable. That's it. So
to answer your question, no, I don't know about that.
Okay, you're a liar.
No, not in the morning, like not nothing. But I do
period, because people are stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I do know when I'm not feeling something, or and I'm normally chipper. I'm normally a happier person. Don't be trying to make faces.
Okay, sure.
My people, we could vote on it.
Yeah, let's vote.
I'm normally happy. You always trying to make me look like I am always happy.
Okay. You're a chipper? You're a chipper person? That's what you just said.
I'm happy, you know.
I didn't say you weren't happy.
I'm joyful.
Okay.
But when I'm in a mood, you know, recently I was in a bad place where I was just sick, you know, and I was just, you know, I still definitely was more conscious. Like I really dislike haters. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, who loves a hater?
yeah, but like I definitely would be like, yeah, let me double, triple check this to make sure I'm not hating. I'm like, yo, man, is this fire or is it not fire? Because I'm not in a place to judge, you know, correctly. You
That's a good thing to do, to be like, to check if you're a hater. And if you are surrounded by yes men who are just going to tell you, no, of course you're not hating. Like, you better check yourself if you've never gotten checked by a friend.
Where if your friends don't never tell you like, yeah, that's off, or like you probably shouldn't do that, they're not your friends.
Yeah. And you know, we don't like to hear it when we're wrong. We don't like to hear when we're hating, but get in your feels, let it out, and then take that advice and change it and be better, because otherwise you're going to be out here looking like a hater and people ain't going to like you. So
you're going to be out here soggy.
Soggy? That's the new, is that new?
I just made that up.
You just made it up.
It sound
Are you
good.
trying to start a trend?
Soggy.
That's no.
You know what? Yeah, I like that. You a hater, you out here soggy. You know what I mean? You know what I think about? I think about like I think about like when Lena needs a diaper change and she's running around and her pampers hanging low. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like people who are haters are. It's a soggy diaper. Yeah. So to move on, the last bit of the song, he goes, people, forgive these people, heal me from these people. And then he calls out the different types of people. Different types of people. Crazy people. Trolling people. Now, the trolls, y'all know who y'all are. There's some people who troll on purpose, which sometimes is funny. And then you got the other people who are trolls and they don't even know they're trolls. They just out there, they're called keyboard warriors.
They're just commenting to stir trouble.
Or, yeah, and they got fake accounts. And most of the time it's probably little 13-year-old pizza face kids. But whatever.
Keyboard gangsters talking smack because they know they're not going to get smacked because they're behind
and they
a
need
computer
to get
screen.
smacked.
2020 for you, 2021.
They need to get smacked. And then you got self-righteous people. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of what they believe in is rooted in self-righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people in their political beliefs is rooted, the root of it is in self-righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Anyway, we'll keep moving.
Religion too.
Yeah,
and
religion,
you know, you
for
got
sure.
these Christians making real Christians look bad.
Exactly. You got the self-righteous.
Mm-hmm.
It don't even make sense because that is not what a Christian is.
That's not who Christ is.
Like, it don't even
Christ is love.
Yeah.
In good circumstances and in bad circumstances.
Ain't nobody feel no type of way hanging out with him.
Right.
They you know what I mean? They were comfortable with him.
Yeah, it's just what those who didn't like him, it's what
they were self-righteous.
Yeah, and so they perceived him to be someone he wasn't, which sounds a lot like the media these days.
Oh.
But let's continue. Entitled, hating, lying, disrespectful people.
Disrespectful. Respectfully. Right.
Respectfully, that's the new thing. You like give an insult and then you end with the respectfully. Like, yeah, that wasn't respectful though.
Yo, you soggy. Respectfully.
Oh Okay, and then he ends the song with, this is my favorite part of the song. He says, "Forgive me when I'm one of these people. Deliver me." I love this line. I love that he ends with this line purposefully, because it's just like brings the song to completion. Like the whole time he's telling God, heal me from these people, from these people, from what they've done to me, deliver me. They've done this, they've done that, from these type of people. It's like he's kind of pointing the finger, but then he says, "But forgive me, Lord, if I've ever been one of these people, if I become one of these people," because let's just face the fact, we've all been one of these people at some point or another. We're not saints. I'm not a saint. You're not a saint. Marv, you're not a saint. and so I just love that he's ending it with a self-check. Self-evaluation. He's essentially, search me, God, and know my heart. Test and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. That's Psalm 139, 23 and 24. It's just, God, search me and fix it. Fix it, Jesus.
Fix it, Lord.
So.
Yeah, it's super dope song. We're going to do a cover of it, but like a condensed version.
A very condensed version. Okay, Jonathan, we are not up to your IQ level here. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out Jonathan McReynolds. If you don't know him, give him a follow. Listen to his other songs. I follow him on Instagram. You too. He does like Q&As every once in a while. Very insightful, very wise.
Super, super sharp, super swaggy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, witty. Like, he's just a cool dude.
Yes, very cool dude. Down to earth.
He played basketball too, Definitely don't want this smoke, but...
Well, we hope again that you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out next week's episode. And right now we're going to cover People by Jonathan McReynolds.
They are the best and the worst you've created, loving and hating and opinionated, loners in basements and those congregated. Deliver me. Far from the peaceful shore I was sinking, deep in the ocean of thoughts they were thinking. Don't know what validation I was seeking. Deliver me from people. When you said you could heal me from anything, did you mean people? Deliver me, 'cause I can't point them out. I won't say their names. I don't know the damage or which one to blame. It's just people. Deliver me. Oh, the hurt are hurting, and the broken are breaking, and the ones who have their joy taken away are out here taking from other people. Lord, heal these people.